Welcome to the first Sunday afternoon at the ballpark in 2025. Today, the Worcester Red Sox and Syracuse Mets in the season finale from Polar Park. Welcome in, everybody, alongside Jay Burnham, Cooper Boardman, Mike Antonellis, going to join us from the sideline in just a moment. I think we should actually, after the rain out yesterday, play some baseball today.
That would be nice, and in fact, what they do so well here is they start the season off on a high note with all the opening day festivities on Friday, specialty first pitches, a lot of fun, as you can see, where the Woo Sox organization just makes that day really special for so many fans and a lot of the top prospects in the Boston Red Sox system in full force here. But it was Syracuse to take the lead in the seventh inning, first home run of the season. This is Jackson Reitz. That made it 2-1. Syracuse would add another 2, but Worcester in the ninth inning would get a solo shot of their own. Abraham Toro with a deep blast to left field, just not enough. We saw some great pitching, some big celebrities, and had a lot of fun. Unfortunately, rained out yesterday.
We had the tie game in the seventh inning. It was a great opening day. This was the offensive side of it for the Woo Sox. 5 through 9 hitters carried the load. Toro down there. And the thought is that between Toro and Nate Eaton, all these guys, bottom of the lineup should be as good as the top, maybe.
Going to be a lot of fun to watch this team mature. You got some younger players, of course, Roman Anthony at the top of the list, and some guys that have been in the big leagues and have had established themselves as big-time professional players. So hopefully they can get this thing going today.
Speaking of, Michael Fulmer makes his first Woo Sox start today, and for more on that, let's go downstairs for the first time with Mike Antonellis.
All right, boys, a Sunday fun day with Fulmer. This is really good. The first time he's going to pitch in a game that counts. Since he was in the big league September 11, 2023, he was a reliever with the Cubs. Now, the Red Sox made a good commitment to him, 2 years, despite missing all of last year. He had an injury. Now, it's too technical for me to explain. It's, for me, Tommy John Part 2. But it's great to have him back. Also, we are seeing this trend a lot in the big leagues. Fulmer relievers going back to starting, and Fulmer will be a starter full-time for the first time since 2020. It is game 2. We wrap up a 2-game series. Your Woo Sox Syracuse Mets. We get the lineups, first pitch next on NESN Plus.
Woo Sox and Mets on a Sunday afternoon series finale. This was originally supposed to be a 3-game set, but we played just 2 on this Sunday afternoon, where the Syracuse Mets won on opening day. And they send out a very similar lineup. Donovan Walton at the top. Former Woo Sox and Woo Sox legend Joey Meneses from the cleanup spot. He had a couple of hits in their win on Friday here. Luke Ritter with big power. Travis Swaggerty, Gilberto Celestino, Chris Williams, and Omar De Los Santos at the bottom of the Mets lineup. They had a big day, just high volume of hits against the Woo Sox on Friday, and today Michael Fulmer makes his first appearance on a professional mound since September of 2023.
Yeah, this is an investment that the Red Sox had made last February, where they signed Fulmer knowing he wasn't going to pitch. You heard from Mike Antonellis there. Really excited to see what he can do, and when you put him in this rotation, which is all in flux with a lot of rehabbers coming in next week, should give the Woo Sox a little bit of a boost here, and you give them some innings, especially early on. I'd like to have a guy like Fulmer on the mound to deal with a pretty good Syracuse lineup.
He's pitched in 262 big league games, but you know that this matters, right? Somebody who's not pitched in a couple of years in a professional full outing. You see the defense behind him with Roman Anthony in center and Marcelo Meyer at shortstop. Sogard at third and Vaughn Grissom is at second. Also the season debut for Sebi Zavala as the battery mate of Michael Fulmer. But you know that there is emotion in this for him today.
I mean, there has to be. And the way that, think about Fulmer, when he was coming up, Rookie of the Year, All-Star, really helped kind of give you hope for the Detroit Tigers. And he was that linchpin for them. And it's been a while. Let's see how he does today.
First pitch since 2023, and it's strike 1 on a swing and a miss to Donovan Walton. A cutter from Michael Fulmer. Sinkers, four-seamers, sweeper, cutter, and changeup for the right-hander. Donovan Walton had an RBI single for Syracuse on Friday. Tight contested game. Chad Tracy said to us, I was sitting there in like the 4th, 5th inning, I said this was going to be a one-run game, and it was. Walton, hard swing to right, but easy for Nate Eaton. And the first out for Fulmer on this Sunday afternoon.
You know, you mentioned Syracuse, 11 hits in the opener on Friday. Not a lot hit hard. This one had a little smash to it from Walton as he lines it out to right field. But, you know, I think overall, really impressed with the pitching performance on opening day from Robert Stock, and also on the other side, Blade Tidwell.
Grab strike one against Luis de los Santos for Michael Fulmer. It's funny, we talked about, you know, Hunter Dobbins and Quinn Priester, and we thought maybe Richard Fitz would be here. There was, you know, a lot of headliners to the starting rotation, but between car trouble and some late arrivals and some extra, you know, outings in Mexico and all this stuff, you ended up with Robert Stock on Friday, and he pitched awesome for the Woo Sox.
Yeah, he was great. And speaking of late arrivals, it was Fulmer driving up and getting here just before the game on Friday. He was throwing a bullpen in the later innings just to get some work in.
And gets his first strikeout of 2025 against Luis de los Santos.
There's a sweeper. Man, looked good. Some off-speed stuff there to get de los Santos. And I think, how key is this for Fulmer? You give up a hard hit ball, line out, now you change the pace a little bit. And here you are, as we mentioned, haven't pitched in quite some time, a chance to get through an easy inning and get that under your belt.
Facing Billy McKinney, another vet, and strike one, so he has the sweeper working. Seven years in the bigs for Billy McKinney. Nearly 300 big league games for Fulmer, and he's ahead 0-2. You know you're going to get strike throwing from Michael Fulmer. He is, you know, very much someone. Just talking to, you know, people around him and around the clubhouse and who were with him in the spring. You know, the idea that this is someone who has been there and done that is actually true about this 32-year-old.
Yeah, now you saw the fastball at 93. Do you go back to that sweeper?
1K already. Went change up there at 89 miles an hour. Everything except for the sweeper in the 88 to 93 range in spring training. Throws that cutter a lot, sinker a lot. And that sweeper down below 80 on average. Looking for a 1-2-3 in his return to the mound. Set up inside of the 1-2. Is swung on, hit in the air, deep towards left center. Anthony on the run, he won't get there. It splits Thompson and Anthony and gives Billy McKinney a 2-strike, 2-out double here in the first.
Well, you mentioned the experience of McKinney. This is a guy that has been the centerpiece of not one but two big trades over the course of his career. And he gets a pitch that was right there and able to shoot it out to left center field. We should also mention, by the way, it's 41 degrees technically, but I mean, come on, wind chill, all that. This feels like it's in the 20s. And so when you're coming up from spring training and having to get warmed up, this is not an easy task for the pitchers today. By the way, great pitching matchup on both ends.
It is 100% March in Polar Park. This is one of these where everyone standing on the field is like just kind of hunched over. On Joey Meneses.
And I will say, pre-game dog parade around the warning track. Yeah. The fans hardy as ever here. And then with 29 years of professional broadcasting experience in baseball, we put Mike Antonellis on the sidelines today. Sorry, buddy.
2-1. Mike is delivering down there. He looks warm, I'll be honest. He's chatting everybody up in the photo pit. Yep. Oh, yeah, he's good. 2-1 count, man, in scoring position for Joey Meneses. He has not yet seen a fastball from Michael Fulmer. Everything moving away.
Yeah, and so now I think for Fulmer here, he's figured out that pitch effective. And there's got to be some tinkering and figuring out to say, what do I have and what is still on its way back?
2-2. Gets a pop-up. It should stay in. Hickey over Zavala. Just enough to spare. And Michael Fulmer delivers a scoreless inning in his first on a professional mound since 2023. Roman Anthony leads off for the Woo Sox today. Bottom of the first inning in a scoreless game against the Syracuse Mets. Woo Sox top 4, that's pretty good. Anthony, Nick Sogard, Marcelo Meyer, and Trace Thompson. Vaughn Grissom gets another start at second base. And the bottom of the lineup on Friday was the most productive part of the lineup between Toro, Hickey, and now Zavala making his debut. Nate Eaton had 2 hits on opening day. As Anthony leads off against Brandon Sproat. Big time prospect matchup, and Anthony takes it down the line and foul. So #1 prospect in the Mets organization against the #1 prospect in the Red Sox organization.
This is why you come to the ballpark and see some of the brightest stars. You can see Sproat there did have trouble adjusting to AAA last season.
They feel like Brandon Sproat, second rounder in 2023, is way more equipped to handle what AAA is going to bring this year, and didn't affect his prospect status. Now 2-1 on Roman Anthony, missed with the changeup.
Well, he'll live off of that big time fastball. You can see the Mets at some point, they know they're going to need Sproat this year in the big leagues. But that 97, 98 mile an hour fastball at times can touch triple digits.
Shook off to go to that fastball and miss low, 3-1. You see 97 miles an hour from Sproat. 4-seamer, sinker, slider, sweeper, and changeup. Everything except the sweeper averages above 90 miles an hour. And a 3-1. That's inside to Anthony. Leadoff walk for Roman, who walked twice on opening day.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is something we talked with manager Chad Tracy about, saying, hey, what did you think about Anthony on opening day? He said, I thought he had some good at-bats. Took a couple of tough pitches against the big league lefty at the end of the game, but has that batter's eye, worked the count in his favor, and now able to do so here to start Worcester off today.
On for Nick Sogard. Third baseman De Los Santos is in. And strike one on an 87 mile an hour slider from Brandon Sproat. Sogard struck out uncharacteristically 3 times on Friday. Did get on with a walk. Sogard last year struggled early in the season. He ended up having another awesome AAA season. Took a little bit of time for him in April, and the bat heated up right around the Toledo series in early May. It got him to the big leagues. You'd also think, too, that he was, for all intents and purposes, the last guy cut, right? So there's a mental part of that, too.
Look, this is parts of 4 seasons now in Worcester. I know there were so many people here, us included, happy that he got an opportunity. 31 big league games last year, proved what he could do and that he belonged.
And as he tries to get back there, and a bat like this against a guy like this matters. This is big time stuff. This is major league stuff. 97, 98 in the fastball, good breaking stuff. And he's in a very Nick Sogard count, 2 balls and 1 strike. Anthony faked the go. Sogard takes upstairs. Seemed like Chris Williams considered challenging, then decided not to. Oh, you probably should have.
Well, we've seen teams keep that challenge for late in the game. Worcester challenged the last pitch of opening day.
That was a slider, 3-2 on Sogard.
I just see a lot of room, you know, with the guy throwing 97. If you're late on that pitch, a guy like Sogard can poke that down the third base line. He's getting plenty of room there from De Los Santos.
Anthony's taking some aggressive leads off first in this at bat. And he goes 3-2, is grounded right side, and it gets through Meneses. Race to the bag. On a good backup from the second baseman, Luke Ritter. Anthony in motion down to second. The Sox have a man in scoring position in the first.
So instead of the fastball, they go to the slider here, which really hasn't had a lot of shape to it from Sproat in the first couple of offerings. We saw that happen to Meneses on a hard hit ball on Friday, which led to an out at first base, a run scored, and the wind being knocked out of Roman Anthony. This one a little less chaotic.
Marcelo Meyer went back foot there. That was a good looking slider. This is two top 50 prospects. Number 12 overall, Marcelo Meyer, still looking for his first AAA hit against Brandon Sproat. At 46th overall, number 1 in the Mets organization. Still has not seen the fastball. Some good swings on Friday against fastball. And Meyer gets one, chops it right side again for Ritter. And 2 down as Anthony moves to third.
They come in with the fastball 96 miles an hour. That one up in the zone. You know, Meyer, just think of the season he had last year at Double-A. Came up with the other guys on the promotion at the end of the season, but did not play. Just good to see him get out there, get swings in, stay on the field.
And the spring training that he had.
Yeah.
Strike one to Trace Thompson. I do think, you know, even as the Red Sox play obviously important games for the first time, Marcelo Meyer has real estate in the mines up there right now, based on what he did in spring training, and yeah, still yet to get a hit in 2 games, but he's had some big swings, flight out at 96 off the bat on Friday in his first AAA plate appearance.
Well, the success of Campbell might really give people ideas, saying, hey, it translates.
Thompson, hard ground ball up the middle for a base hit, and the Woo Sox have the lead. Anthony home. Trace Thompson makes it 1-0 in game 2.
Well, you get a walk for Roman Anthony, set the stage. A couple of ground outs, run produced. We saw Thompson smash the ball yesterday, almost out of the ballpark. This is a veteran hitter that knows how to drive in runs, and here just saying, hey, I got to get this back through the box into center field. And again, that was a sinker, 95, a little bit of dip, but easy for Thompson to put that one back up the middle.
First lead of the day, first hit of the season for Trace Thompson. Vaughn Grissom chops it foul. Thompson led all of spring training in home runs. He had a huge spring training in his first in the Red Sox organization. Guys played, we're talking about Michael Fulmer and all the games. Guys played in 369 major league games. Trace Thompson. Off first for Vaughn. And a count 1-1 from Sproat. And here's a challenge. So first challenge gets unfurled on the 19th pitch of Sproat's day. This is called a ball on the field. And it's overturned. 0-2 on Grissom.
Great call, great look there. Look, and it changes the outcome of this at bat, and you're got a #1 prospect approaching 20 pitches in his first inning.
Grissom fly ball down the right field line. Meneses just in play. Finishes off the bottom of the first inning. But the Woo Sox get one. The walk by Anthony and the RBI single by Trace Thompson. Second inning coming for Michael Fulmer. This is a pitch usage when he was last in the big leagues a couple of years ago as a reliever. So we remind you that Automated Business Solutions is a proud provider of services for the Woo Sox. Arsenal now is a little bit different for Fulmer as he begins the second inning with a strike against Luke Ritter. The pre-Tommy John fastball velocity was different. It's a ground ball left side. Marcelo Meyer, so easy. There's one away to retire Luke Ritter. Fulmer, who ran it up 95, 96, 97 at points as a reliever when he was in the big leagues. You see Meyer make the play. Is now 92, 93. It's a very different way to live. when you're down, 92, 93, it's a little bit more the savvy vet nickel dime you kind of thing.
Yeah, this is where you got to become more of a pitcher. And look, there's a lot of guys that redevelop themselves and reinvent what they do to have success. We'll take a look at Robert Stock yesterday. A little bit of a different arm angle, throws a lot of the breaking stuff, but can still ramp up that fastball to a good enough number to get outs.
Count 1-1 on Travis Swaggerty. Checked his swing. Did not go around 2-1. Yeah, I'd say even better than good enough. 95, 96.
Yeah, he had it.
He looked awesome.
He was 4 innings, 6 Ks, just 1 walk, was in control.
Swaggerty up the middle and barely through for a base hit. First hit of the season for Travis Swaggerty.
I think there was a lot to recount from opening day. Here's Swaggerty, a guy that was in indie ball last year, able to punch this one back up the middle. Stock gave you what you needed early on in the season, especially. Look, if you get 4 innings out of a guy, 3 innings like they did out of Josh Winkowski out of the bullpen, the swing and miss stuff was there for Winkowski in relief. I think there were so many different moments, positives that the Red Sox took away on Friday.
Gilberto Celestino takes low. Well, I think too, and again, it's, we talked about this on Friday, but the way that people perceive what this team is going to be, the headliners from a pitching perspective are the guys that, are on paper closest to the big leagues. Celestino, right at shortstop. Meyer to Grissom. The turn is pretty, and so is the result. 6-4-3 to end the second. Michael Fulmer, 2 innings, 2 zeros. Grissom on the turn. 1-0 Woo Sox. Hey, Woo Sox fans, Crunch Fitness is 10 locations in the Boston area with miles of cardio, tons of heavy weights, innovative group fitness classes, and more. Visit crunch.com or stop by your local club.
We need to get you in the weight room.
I'm doing everything I can. David Hamilton is up like 12 pounds for the Red Sox. First pitch of the second.
You got to ask him what his secret is.
I walked up to him in his locker and I go, how did you do it? And he goes, you got to eat a ton. I was like, all right.
I've seen you eat quite a bit.
I was like, that's not good advice. It doesn't work. Abraham Toro fouls it back. I was being very annoying in the clubhouse. A complete abuse of my media credential because I went up to Nick Sogard, who's up 18 pounds between last year and this year. I was like, what do you do? He was like, yeah, I would probably just eat a bunch. So, thank you. Toro takes a strike from Brandon Sproat. Abraham had the first Woo Sox home run of the season on Friday on opening day. Sproat deals, and Sproat has a strikeout. Changeup at 92.
Well, this is going to be pretty impressive if Sproat can do this consistently with the change. Kind of stayed there a little bit, then dropped off at the end, get a little more shape on that pitch along with a slider, and can really start to lean on those secondary pitches.
Strike 1 and 8th at Hickey.
This is a guy that pitched extensively at Florida for 4 years with Hickey, his former teammate. Was drafted twice by the New York Mets, 3 times overall, to give you an idea of how much they like Sproat and have liked him. And then as soon as he turns pro, shoots through the system from single A and finishing the year at triple A last season.
Ahead 0-2 and got the backdoor slip. 2 down.
Well, here's the thing. This is not the best at bat for Hickey, although he was able to get Sproat when he made his AAA debut, the former teammate, with a home run, just caught the edge. That's a pretty nice looking, they'll label that a sweeper off the outside corner. One of the things that manager Chad Tracy was so impressed with on opening day was the at-bats from Nathan Hickey and how different they looked from where he was at the end of last season, making hard contact, hitting a double off the right field wall, not having a lot of swing and miss. He could be in for a big year this season.
I'm right there with you.
All right. He'll be on your International League fantasy team, which I know you have.
Sebi Zavala takes a strike 1-1. No comment. 5 years for Sebi Zavala in the big leagues. White Sox, Diamondbacks, and Mariners making his Woo Sox debut. Red Sox had a real focus on bringing in some defensive catchers in their free agency. Connor Wong didn't grade out as a real good defensive catcher last year, so they felt like whoever they brought in would at least compete for the 2 spot that could do that. Carlos Narvaez won the job, at least for opening day, but Sebi Zavala is very much in the conversation to go up there if they have that need.
Well, you got him, and we saw Blake Sable on Friday, so 2 guys that have done it at the major league level. Something you like to see for your roster construction.
And Zavala takes a strike. He was almost halfway up the first base line, then didn't challenge it.
I think, yeah, once you commit to that being a ball.
Right, like by the third step.
Yeah, it's a pride thing at this point.
How far does he get? Let's see, 1.
This is where, once you're out of that second box,
yeah, like,
you got to start tapping the head. All right.
From 3-1 to 3-2. Sproat has 2 Ks. Zavala stays alive, 95 up top.
See, I'd like to see for Sproat that pitch get by a guy. I want to see 96, 97 up in the zone, and I want to see you be able to get that past hitters. Just hasn't been able to do so.
You started the game at 97.
Yeah.
3-2 here. Rung him up. Zavala throws a bat, and now he turns to challenge. He got that off. Sproat saying, how do you get that off? Now Zavala's halfway down the line. All right, he committed this time. On the 5th step, he challenged. Is he right? Oh!
Man. And look, that's tough as a catcher, too.
1-0 Woo Sox for Michael Fulmer and company as we go to the 3rd inning alongside Jay Burnham, Cooper Boardman. Let's go downstairs in the cold with Mike Antonellis.
It's actually not bad. It's giving me an excuse to have 4 cups of coffee already. I will do that. Woo Sox 25 kicked off Friday. Opening day was phenomenal, but yesterday we didn't play on Saturday, but the thousands and thousands of fans still came out to get their autographs from their Woo Sox players. Just an unbelievable first weekend. I got some kids in front of me. They're telling me to get out of the way, so we send it back to you guys.
Mike, you stand your ground down there.
Oh, yeah. I just want some of their popcorn.
Mike Antonellis, again, you said it, first sideline day, and he gets 41 degrees. And the first thing he says is, not bad.
One of the best in the business. And he's right. The team hosted the autograph session yesterday despite the fact that the weather wasn't able to cooperate. And you just saw a line of people outside the DCU club ready to sign autographs. Of course, the guys are great. They always enjoy interacting with the fans. And I think that all stems from manager Chad Tracy now in his 4th season here. He just is such a great ambassador for the club, for the Red Sox, for Worcester. And he sets that example that those moments are important for the fans. Doesn't happen in every market.
1-2 count. Michael Fulmer to Chris Williams. And Fulmer starts the 3rd with a big chase. Another K, his 2nd.
Okay, let's talk about this. The sweeper clearly is going to be an effective pitch for Fulmer. And to the last inning, here he is, gives up a hard base hit. And this is what you were talking about, reinventing yourself and being a different type of pitcher than you were when you threw 97.
Omar De Los Santos, same thing.
He knows he's in a situation where one pitch can get him 2 outs. He throws an 88-mile-an-hour sinker, and it's a routine grounder to short to turn 2.
Dan DeLucia, Woo Sox pitching coach, was down in Fort Myers really all offseason. Michael Fulmer, remember, was working his way back from Tommy John. Gets ahead 1-2. That was 93 for Michael Fulmer. So Fulmer lived near the complex down there. They have a great relationship, spent a lot of time together. 1-2 and a ground ball foul. And what Dan said is, this is a guy in Michael Fulmer that is willing to reinvent himself, that understands that, the way he pitched early in his career, there are elements of that still matter, but he, at this age and off Tommy John, is building ground up to get to where he wants to go.
Yeah, because you've done things one way your entire life, and so you can't be stubborn. You got to be able to adapt and learn. And I think the modern ball player is maybe a little more adaptable than, say, 30, 40 years ago. And there's so many items that they can utilize.
Another K, another chase. 3 for Michael Fulmer.
I think they know the sweeper's coming. At this point, okay, the sinker's been all right. The fastball, he's been able to peek in there. But this is a pitch that slides across the entire width of home plate, and even though you know it's going to be a sweeper and a 2-strike count, still nothing you can do with that pitch.
Missed outside of Donovan Walton.
And I like that. You try to come in here with a back door on a left-handed hitter and almost clip the edge.
And then clips the edge with a
so
fastball.
You say I don't get it with the sweeper, but now let me see if he's looking in. I'm going to dot my fastball, to your point about the control that he had early in his career.
Living out there, and he gets a ground ball slowly right to Vaughn Grissom, who ends the inning. 1, 2, 3 again for Michael Fulmer. Folks, want a great place to stay when you come to a Woo Sox game? Check out AC Hotel. It has everything you need. Woo Sox leading 1-0 on cold, but a day where we are playing baseball. I'm remembering that every time there's like a little complaint here. We're actually doing it. It's in front of you. He's got hot chocolate or whatever. We're good. Nate Eaton leads off.
I do feel as though you should be opening in southern climates to start the minor league season, at least the first couple of games.
Woo Sox have tomorrow off, and then they go to bright, beautiful, sunny Jacksonville, Florida.
See, we just could have flipped that, right?
Well, it makes you appreciate it. Down 3-0 on Nate Eaton. We were making jokes. There are a couple of Woo Sox players that had some travel issues coming up from Florida. Maybe a car broke down or something like that. Eaton grounds it foul, and everyone was saying, "Yeah, sure, it broke down."
Whoops.
Oh, you were in Florida and it broke down.
Jacksonville, right? Yeah.
Brandon Sproat had an outstanding second inning, struck out the side, but he walks Nate Eaton to begin the 3rd inning. Nate Eaton had 2 hits on Friday, and he's on here to begin Sunday.
And for Eaton, I mean, this is a guy that can steal bases. Such an athletic figure. Another walk issued by Sproat.
That walk was presented by Big Blue Bug Solutions, the official pest control of the Worcester Red Sox. Eaton has outstanding speed as Roman Anthony takes inside. Roman walked back at the first, scored the Woo Sox only run today off of Sproat. That first run scored by the Woo Sox. Our partner National Grid reminds you to be safe in your home with this easy tip. Check the batteries in your carbon monoxide detectors regularly. You're welcome. And this is a little bit of Brandon Sproat. Last year struck out 10 per 9 across 3 levels. Is how Chris Williams wants to settle him down, but he also walked 3 per 9.
Yeah, and I think working on the shape of those pitches is going to be a focal point for him. On the other side, here's Fulmer, as we talked about again, not to beat the dead horse, but hasn't pitched in a long time, and now you're getting real action in a cold game, and you can see him kind of figuring out the sequencing of his arsenal. Okay, what do I have available to me now, and how do I utilize it? And I think, this guy like Sproat, you can see an experienced pitcher on the other side like Fulmer and start to kind of learn a little bit.
Runner goes. Pitch outside. Throw to second is not in time, and Eaton stuck the landing.
Well, here's a guy, 25 stolen bases last year at AAA. Red Sox pick him up in the offseason, and he's got a combination of power and speed. And I know we don't always talk about the wins and losses at the minor league level. Of course, the Woo Sox, pretty good season last year, 79-71. If he's hitting ninth, you're going to be okay.
There is no question. He had a big spring training for the Red Sox, and I will say this: if you watch Nate Eaton take batting practice, you cannot believe that his body creates the show that he puts on.
Have you asked him about his workout regimen?
No, I've not.
Okay.
Anthony takes inside. No challenge for Syracuse to see stolen base number 1 for Nate Eaton, presented by Teddy Peanut Butter, the official peanut butter of the Worcester Red Sox. The Woo Sox have consecutive walks to begin the 3rd inning off of Brandon Sproat.
Well, how great is this? I mean, you've got so much anticipation around a guy like Anthony, and I think this speaks to his maturity. Hey, you want to go out there and make an immediate impression. You've got a lot of eyes on you. People are paying attention to every swing. And he's able to work now 4 walks, and we're not even through 2 games.
Well, I mean, look at
Chase Mydroth would be impressed at the walk rate here.
He's clapping his hands at Charlotte right now. Well, Roman last year hit 291 batting average, but he had 396 OBP. Being held on at first, Eaton off second. Now 2-0 on Nick Sogard, and Sproat has completely lost it here in this 3rd inning. It was an interview with Sproat in spring training, and he's the #1 prospect. He's going to pitch in the big leagues for the Mets, knock on wood, this year. Has all of everything he needs to be a good big leaguer. Goes 2-1, 96 on the inside corner against Sogard. But he was asked, what's the difference? What is the thing that's going to get you to the big leagues in your mind? And he said, it's relaxing. Sogard to center, sinking down, base hit. Deke from De Los Santos forced Eaton to hold up a little bit. It does dunk down, and the bases are loaded on the first hit of the AAA season for Nick Sogard.
Good to see Sogi get his first base knock, and it comes at the right time. I don't think De Los Santos got a great jump on this. Not sure if it was catchable. But to your point about Sproat relaxing, I think there's a trust your stuff acumen there that he needs to feel, especially when you get in these situations where you have 97. You got to be able to use it.
Bases loaded, Marcelo Meyer, and the first curveball of the day by Brandon Sproat. Oh, 1 to Marcelo. He left that one outside. It's a similar deal with him, too. We talked about Roman Anthony, the patience. He's got the same thing, that 370 on base last year. Strike 2. A changeup to Meyer, who's not yet seen a fastball in the at-bat. Bases loaded. 1-2 to Marcelo from Sproat. He stays alive.
And he's got him thinking now, right? Okay, in this situation, locate that fastball, but he hasn't seen it yet. That was the sweeper. And he might not see it. I might throw that same pitch again.
4 pitches, no fastballs. Here comes the 5th from Sproat. Marcelo, again alive. That was the second curveball he's thrown today.
Similar pitch. All right, so this is a fascinating cat and mouse. Is he gonna throw it? Meyer, maybe. Do I wait on the pitch?
Another 1-2. He went heat and called a ball. No challenge from Syracuse. It's 2-2. Sproat ripped off the hardest pitch he's thrown today.
Look at this. Yeah, low, great take.
And now he goes 2-2. And Meyer grounds it foul.
All right, so you come back with, I get technically a changeup at 93, so not enough differentiation there on the fastball and changeup. But he has shown the ability here in these tight situations to throw other pitches.
8th pitch. We're getting another.
This is a tremendous at-bat for Meyer. Because of the way you're being pitched, because of the tentativeness here for Sproat to show you that fastball, and you're able to deflect.
It's 41 degrees, but we got Sproat versus Meyer. Bases loaded. A 10th pitch that Meyer grounds up the middle and through for a base hit. Eaton scores. Roman Anthony follows. Marcelo Meyer's first AAA hit is a 2-run knock on a 10th pitch.
Well, how fun was that? You did get the fastball, 97 up in the zone, and you punch it to the right of the mound. Good effort there by Ritter. Got to get a glove on that. And now you've got Sproat approaching 60 pitches. Look, he struck out the side back in the 2nd inning and has hit a wall here, and it starts with the walk to Eaton, the walk to Roman Anthony, and then a 10-pitch marathon at bat to Meyer, who has his first AAA hit. What an exchange.
Meyer goes 109 off the bat, too, against Sproat. Marcelo Meyer drives in 2. Woo Sox lead 3-0. Might be cold cotton candy, still good. Kevin Herget on for the first time in the AAA season. Former Milwaukee Brewer, among a few others, and he comes on with 2 men on and nobody out. Trace Thompson greets him with a foul ball. Woo Sox, who didn't find a ton against Brandon Sproat in the first couple of innings, take advantage of 2 walks, a single by Nick Sogard, and then Marcelo Meyer's first AAA hit.
I think if you're the Red Sox, I would take that whole at bat and just showcase it. I mean, a tough top prospect, fastball throwing pitcher. You spit on a bunch of pitches, you foul off some tough sweepers.
Thompson up the middle, 1 hop. That's corralled by Ritter to 2nd, 1, and they turn it. Almost got none, instead they got 2.
Well, that's just what you needed for Syracuse. A tough inning for Sprout. Come in here, Herget, former Charleston Dirty Bird, gets a hot shot up the middle, and Ritter able to feed Walton. I mean, think about how long you've just been standing out there in this cold. That's got to make an impact defensively.
Man on 3rd, 2 down for Vaughn Grissom. Oh, you're so right about the Marcelo at bat. And we have this tendency, like, every time a top prospect unwraps a piece of bubble gum, we're like, what a job he did doing that. But, you know, he goes 10 pitches there. He doesn't see a fastball, to your point, the first 4 or 5 pitches.
Well, I think a lot of people look at the box score and they go, oh, did he get a hit? Did he get an extra base hit? And, you know, when we're watching with a more discerning eye, how do you get the outcome, I think, is more important than what the outcome actually is.
And, oh, by the way, the outcome in this case is that was 109 off the bat. You know, you sit there, oh, a seeing eye, you know, 2-run single, great. No, he went 109 off the bat on a 96, 97 mile an hour fastball. Grissom out in front, 2-2.
So what contraption of a pitch was that? My goodness. Big changeup to Grissom.
It didn't feel like a changeup. 79, 2-2. Grissom accidentally swung on this one. He was laid out of the box. The race was won by Grissom. Walton never picked it up. And Sogard scores with the 4th run of the Woo Sox afternoon.
Well, speaking of what the results look like, but maybe not the intended outcome, just, I mean, this is the definition of the excuse me swing. A little tennis racket to the infield. We'll see if they'll rule it a hit. Walton had a chance there. But that was my point about it being cold. Is the blood flowing to your appendages?
Anywhere.
It's 41 degrees. We got the windows open like true broadcast heroes. Not hiding behind anything here.
People are very, very happy for Grissom gets checked on. Play the exit velocity game. 2-run single for Marcelo Meyer. 109 off the bat. RBI hit, we'll see. Waiting on the official scoring. I think RBI single for Grissom. 59 off the bat. Toro to center, knuckled it out and in for a base hit. Grissom around second, he is there. 70 beautiful miles an hour for Abraham Toro off the bat.
Oh man, knuckle is such a great description here. Just a little flare shot, and this is what you got, a pretty good changeup from Herget. It's been the bread and butter pitch for him, but it's over the middle of the plate. And why you have a guy like Toro on the team, because he can do this and you'll feel comfortable if you need him in the big leagues. He's got plenty of experience playing all over the diamond. He's almost like a Nick Sogard clone to a certain extent. It gives the Red Sox that many more options.
He's got speed too, as he leads off first. Runners on the corners with 2 outs for Nathan Hickey. The Sox try to blow this game wide open in the 3rd inning. Look at that.
Windows
the
open,
wind is
see?
rushing in. We're heroes. Hickey takes high, 2-1. By the way, the camera that shot that is actually outside. And so thank you to everyone who is outside today. Bringing you the beautiful pictures of a Sunday afternoon in Worcester. A 3-1 count on Nathan Hickey. Damage count for a guy who can do it. And he hits it hard down the line. A hit for Hickey and another Woo Sox run. Grissom scores. Toro to 3rd. Nathan Hickey loses the helmet, but has 2 bases. It's 5-0 Woo Sox.
It all starts with the flow for Hickey. And look, this is what we talked about in his first at-bat. You know he's a good hitter. He hit 209 last year. Raked at Florida. And this one down the right field line, extra bases. We'll see if he can take that next step in his development.
You said it earlier about Nathan Hickey. Chad Tracy told us that Hickey wasn't supposed to be in the lineup yesterday, and he had such good at-bats on Friday
Put him
that
in there.
Trace was like, yeah, keep him in there. His year last year was so interesting because he struggles. He really didn't hit. As you see the double brought to you by Anna Maria College, turn your passion into a profession. He didn't hit from an average perspective, Nathan Hickey. He ends up finishing the year at AA. You know, by all accounts, you know, it's a frustrating year as Zavala takes a strike. Still, hit for power, you know, double-digit home runs. And on top of that, he walked at a 17% clip. Zavala right at De Los Santos to end the inning. Court that, nothing for it.
A look into the Woocher Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare, as we'll be keeping an eye on all the Red Sox affiliates throughout the season. Exciting players at both Portland and Salem, up and down the organization.
Yeah, Justin Sin Garcia obviously has a lot there. I'm really excited to see Luis Perales at some point. I don't quite know his health. Is he on an opening day roster and healthy? He was throwing in spring training, but coming back from surgery, the elbow issue that he had last year. But when he's healthy, he throws 99. Hopefully he'll be here. Hey, buddy.
Fifth-ranked prospect in the system. They bark in the park. All the doggos, good pups here at Polar Park. And how about the cushion provided now for Fulmer as he deals with Luis De Los Santos? 90 miles an hour on the sinker. A couple of strikeouts back in the third. 35 pitches through 3 innings for him. This is down, 2 balls and no strikes. 2, 3, and 4 due up for Syracuse. The Woo Sox able to put together a rally, 4 runs on 5 hits on the last half inning.
News from out of town, Aaron Judge homered again.
Uh-oh.
He has 4 home runs in 3 games. He is on pace for...
There's the 2-1. It's right there for strike 2.
216 home runs. I think he gets there.
2-2 coming. Swing and a miss. The sweeper again for Fulmer. 4 Ks and counting. Well, hey, it might be 300 home runs if they keep using those altered bats the Yankees have unveiled this year.
Many people are talking about those.
There's Billy McKinney now. Came through with a double back in the first inning. And Fulmer starts him off high for ball 1. What was your initial reaction when you saw
the torpedo
Yankees
barrels?
Modified bats.
So, yeah, for people who don't know, the Yankees went viral yesterday. Is that probably the right way of putting it? Here you go. Oh, we got it. Right. So if you look at the bat above Anthony Volpe's head, see how it kind of comes out a little bit, maybe earlier than where
at the contact point.
Right. And so it's below the traditional barrel. I guess they brought in an MIT physicist. I'm not kidding. This is a real story. They brought in an MIT physicist, and they decided that some large percentage of Anthony Volpe's batted balls were off of that part. They said, well, let's just make that the barrel.
I think it's funny. It took someone from MIT and our best and brightest minds to recreate the big red wiffle ball bat that you had as a kid. You remember those?
Yeah.
You don't want to use the yellow wiffle ball. You want to use the big red one.
That's so good. No, it's crazy.
But now if it works, everybody's going to do it, right? So the secret's out.
And I guess AJ Hinch was asked about it, Tigers, and it's not like this wasn't known around baseball. We're just all finding out. Also, the Yankees hit 9 home runs yesterday.
So that magnified it all, right? If they had gone with a couple of hits, nothing out of the ballpark, we probably wouldn't be talking about it as much. Payoff coming to McKinney, and he fouls it away.
I also think, too, if the Yankees, if this was really like a lock and key kind of, we've got this secret competitive advantage, we don't want anybody to know, we wouldn't know about it. They were telling media members about it. It's okay. But you're right, everybody's going to do it if it works, at least for some of the right guys.
3-2 again on the ground. Diving stop at first by Hickey, and he'll feed Fulmer for the out. Nifty play for Nathan Hickey, who will see extensive time at first base this season.
We do not talk about him playing defense at first base enough. Nathan Hickey, guy who's been a catcher up to this point. He'll mix in at catcher still this year, but not very much. And he's going to have to play like that to get to the big leagues. And I remember last year in August when he started playing first base with some consistency for the first time, he made plays like that immediately, and he had not had a lot of time over there.
6 in a row set down by Fulmer. Trying to get through 4 innings in his return to the mound. The last thing I'll say about those bats is that, obviously they are legal to use. There's a certain circumference that you can have throughout the portion of the barrel. Meneses takes a hard fastball away.
Yeah, Major League Baseball to make a comment on it. Yeah, it's okay. We knew about it.
Meneses with a pop-up today. And I think it goes to show everyone is always thinking, how do we get an advantage? And how do we use the information that we have in this statistical age to one-up our opponent?
100%. And I think, too, the way the pitching has gone, right? And everything in pitching can be broken down to granular science. And you can play with a grip and immediately know how a pitch performs.
This ball in the air down the right field line. Eaton coming on towards the bullpen, and it'll drop into that bullpen, which has some action brewing at the moment.
And so if we're going to use science on the pitching side, it stands to reason we should do the exact same thing on the hitting side. And people talk about getting offense back in the game.
Look, it's so hard to hit.
Right.
I mean, the guys are throwing 100 miles an hour with regularity now. So maybe
it's
a win
approach,
for the
Jay.
hitters.
It's approach.
A
That's
win
why
for the
guys
hitters.
don't
Come on.
It's not the 95-mile-an-hour splinter.
There's the payoff, and it's distributed foul. That's the cutter. I think all things considered here for Fulmer, like you can work on your out pitch at this point. You got a 5-0 lead. You're probably not going to last much deeper into this game with your pitch limit on your first outing. I'm trying to put away the veteran Meneses here. It is swing and a miss on the sweeper for strike 3. What a debut for the former AL Rookie of the Year. Call to the bullpen for the Syracuse Mets. Third pitcher utilized today, presented by Shaw's. Daniel Nunez returns to Syracuse.
It's a really interesting lane here for Nunez. He's going to get 9-1-2. So he was one of the Mets' best relievers first half of the year last year, got hurt, didn't pitch again in the second half. This is a major leaguer who's only here because he didn't have enough build-up time in spring training, and we're going to get to see him after Eaton against Roman, Anthony Sogard, and maybe Marcelo Myers.
Fun matchup, 28 years of age. You mentioned the numbers last year, a 2.31 ERA with the New York Mets. There's Eaton, who got it all going last inning with a walk, came around to score after he stole a base, and he takes strike 1 from Nunez. 5-0 Worcester on 6 hits today for the Woo Sox. Eaton, we talked about him in his last plate appearance. Cuts and misses at 92, and I think he's a guy, if you can get a little more consistency with the bat, might be able to help out at some point in the major leagues. Look at Nunez, 35 innings last year, 48 strikeouts for New York. This is, I think we were talking earlier on Friday with manager Chad Tracy about, I think he's having a pitch comm issue here, which we had also on opening day. At the beginning of the season, because most of the guys you would hope are healthy breaking spring camp, you get a stockpile of big league arms and major league guys that are ready when the injuries happen at the major leagues. And this, along with, we see the lefty out of the bullpen here the other day. Who am I thinking of?
And Cabrera was
Yeah, Genesis Cabrera, who was with Toronto all last year. 1-2. Fouled off.
Yeah, right. Like that March and April, this league is really good. And not that it's not good all the other times, but March, April, early May, when everybody's healthy, you've got guys like this at the AAA level that are not going to stay here.
1-2 again to Eaton, and he's able to hang in there.
It's a good at bat. I mean, he's seen 95. You just saw 97. He's seen the sinker. He's seen that slider. Big league hitters hit 145 against Daniel Nunez's slider last.
That's pretty good. Sprout just went 2+ innings. Now the next one waved at and missed. Tough at bat for Eaton, and ends up chasing the slider. So 1 gun here in the home half of the 4th.
I am beginning to understand why they hit 145 against that pitch. They slugged 232 against the pitch. They didn't slug against the pitch. Crushed right-handers with it. And now here you go. Fun little matchup, 4th inning on a Sunday.
So as you alluded to, an interesting exchange here for Anthony, who's walked and scored twice tonight. And he'll take 96 with ease on the outside edge.
I also think, this is a guy who throws sliders into left-handed hitters. And Roman has handled that so far.
0-1 to him, swing and a miss. There it is. Worcester got 1 run back in the first inning on a base hit from Trace Thompson that scored Anthony, and then stacked them together in the third. Anthony behind in the count at the moment, and the 0-2 pitch is lifted deep out to left field. Celestino turned around and he makes the catch along the warning track. Shot off the end of the bat from Anthony. And a good whack at it for Anthony, but there's 2 gone here in the fourth.
Yeah, off the end of the bat at 105 from Roman Anthony. This is the amazing thing that, you know, he could swing and miss on the last slider, but when he makes contact, which he does with consistency, he charges it. The consistent exit velocity is the thing. And there's so many things about him being the #1 hitting prospect in baseball that make him, you know, who he is. But it's just, that's a ho-hum at bat that finishes with 105.
Yeah, and the fact that you're behind in the count 0-2, so you're a little more protective there. Sogard will take a ball and a strike. I think that's what you hear, and everybody will turn their head in the stadium and go, it sounds a little bit different when it comes off the bat of Roman Anthony. Against the tough right-hander in Nunez. Sogard with a base hit today will take a slider for a called strike. And the starting pitcher Sproat, top prospect for the Mets, 2 innings, 3 hits. The walks got him into trouble, at least to begin that third inning. Struck out 3, walked 3 on 57 pitches. 1-2, fouled off by Sogard. For the Woo Sox, you probably have seen the last of Fulmer. A job well done for him today. 5 strikeouts. He retired the last 7 he faced. This is about the best you could have hoped for what you saw from Fulmer this afternoon. 1-2 again. Hammered down the right field line and foul way out of play.
Boy, his swings look much better for Nick Sogard today than they did on Friday. He struck out 3 times. He got beat by some fastballs in the zone a few times, but he knows, you know, you want to get to the big leagues. This kind of at bat against this guy is important.
Yep. 1-2 again. And now this is what we've seen from Sogard, because he can get bat to ball so clearly. You can make a pitcher work. You can get back into a count after he falls behind 1-2. 2 outs, nobody on here in the bottom of the 4th inning in the 2-2 check. Swing upon appeal, no. Down to third for Jonathan Parra, the crew chief.
Probably the most impressive part of Nick Sogard's season was this lack of swing and miss. 8% last year, well below league average with slug.
And now the payoff to him. Down the left field line, heading towards the bullpen and out of play.
I just think this is so good to see.
It's
from
fun.
him.
You know, this is what makes him such a pesky player. You love him when he's on your team. You hate to have to face him. Deep count at bats.
He's about to see a 9th pitch on a day where Marcelo saw 10.
Marcelo awaiting on deck. Here comes the 3-2. Swing and a miss. Advantage Nunez on that wipeout slider, but a quality AB for Sogard. A new pitcher on. Pitching change presented by Shaw's, the official grocery partner of the Worcester Red Sox. Shane Drowan returns to the Woo, made his Woo Sox debut back in 2023. Rule 5 by the White Sox, returns to the Red Sox, and he'll pick up where Fulmer has left off, who retired the last 7 batters he faced. What a job he did today. Luke Ritter will chop the first one on the ground towards third. Sogard will gobble it up, and 1 pitch, 1 out for Drowan.
Shane Drowan, who pitched in Mexico 5 days ago for the Red Sox. 2 2/3, 4 hits, 2 walks, 4 Ks. Really interesting situation, right? I mean, comes back from the Rule 5 from the White Sox to the organization that left him unprotected, an organization that he was once a top 10 prospect in. And yeah, they're trying to get him healthy. He is healthy. And now try to get the best version of Shane Drowan.
See the fastball at 93. He gets ahead of the count to Travis Swaggerty, followed by Celestino. I mean, a guy that had a lot of helium behind him when he got here a couple of years ago. 0-2 inside. 4 innings, 2 hits, no runs. And no walks allowed by Fulmer with 5 strikeouts. 1-2, swing and a miss. Strike 3. A diffident swing from Swaggerty, and there's 2 quick ones gone for Drowan. Oh, another $50 donated by Fallon Health to the Worcester County Food Bank, needed now more than ever. Now 6 strikeouts on the day, $300 to the food bank. Celestino will take a strike, and good to see Drowan coming in here and throwing strikes.
That's what he did so well. I guess it's now 2 years ago, 2.5, 3 years ago, when he ate the Eastern League for breakfast. He was incredible.
There's the 0-2 and the breaking ball down.
Yeah, he was the ERA leader, I think, in the league when he was promoted to AAA for the first time, but just has not done it yet at this level.
2-strike pitch, nubbed foul. I think at this point you deal with injuries too for Drowan. Okay, to get healthy, get yourself back in the swing of things. It's a good spot to come into, the way that Fulmer was able to establish the lead for the Woo Sox today. Man, the 1-2 again. He got him. Drowan comes in and delivers the changeup. Bottom falls out of that pitch. Couple of Ks and a 1-2-3 for Drowan. Well, take a look at the at-bat that broke things open here. Marcelo Meyer was able to fend off a few pitches against a difficult hurler, and then he got one that he was able to chop on the ground on the 10th pitch, bring home a couple of runs, and that felt like the breaking point for Sproat, who was out after 57 pitches.
What a job by our crew. They had to go back and get 10 pitches.
They were ready for it.
That.
And Meyer will take a strike on the outside edge. And, you know, as we were talking about during that at-bat, didn't see a fastball, got behind in the count, wondering if the fastball was going to come, took a close 97-mile-an-hour heater below the knees. I mean, just, it felt like he was one step ahead of where Sproat was in that exchange. A ball and a strike on Meyer, gets his first AAA hit, brings home 2 runs. Woo Sox have a 5-0 lead, and he goes through and misses for strike 2.
So, all right, right there. Change up, down, swings over it, looks at his bat, kind of knocks it. You know, he feels like maybe he got a little too big there, right? On a 1-1 pitch against a big league arm. What's the adjustment now?
And Nunez, the righty, with a 1-2. This one up the first baseline. That was a slider.
And that's what's impressive is, like, okay, he's going to slug. There's no doubt he's got, you know, he's going power to gaps. That's who he is as a hitter. But the contact ability and the 307 on the average, coupled with the 370 on base, which is obviously going to be way up when you have an average like that. That 307 means he can put the ball in play when he wants to.
And he does right here, looped into left field. A 2-hit day for Meyer against the big league arm in Nunez. 7th hit of the afternoon for the Worcester Red Sox.
You just become you become a more dangerous hitter when you have the ability to take your big swing early in the count, and then with 2 strikes, trust yourself to do things like this. This is the word hitter. This is what Marcelo Meyer is, and again, he continues to do a lot of different things in the box every single day. It's been really fun to watch.
That'll knock Nunez out of the game. Back to the bullpen for pitching change presented by Shaw's, the official grocery partner of the Worcester Red Sox. Tyler Zuber with Durham and the Rays last year. I'll take over here for Nunez, who leaves after an inning plus with a runner on first. Here's Trace Thompson. And the pitch to Thompson is taken low for ball 1 from Zuber. Zuber, 2 big league games, 3 innings last year, 4 Ks with Tampa. Made his major league debut back in 2020 with Kansas City. RBI base knock today for Thompson, and he fouls it right back, a ball and a strike. So already the 4th pitcher thrown in there for the Syracuse Mets. See Thompson last year with Syracuse. He played 62 games with Syracuse, hit 16 home runs. The power is real. Runner goes, pitches inside. There'll be no throw, and that's a bag for Marcelo Meyer into scoring position.
You can believe, folks, Marcelo Meyer. It's, you know, again, the spring that he had put him on the map. Not that he wasn't on the map, but the spring that he had, I think, made us all say, okay, yeah, this is a big league. This guy could be a big leaguer tomorrow. But you got to come down here and prove it. And
yeah, I think the real shame was wasn't able to play at the end of last season, where you could have kind of taken away some of those detractors.
But it's a delay, not a stop.
3-1 pitch, hammered out to the alley in left center field. That'll get down, and another run for the Woo Sox. Thompson will stride into second. Myers scores, and Worcester putting a hurting on Syracuse here in Game 2 of the season.
Junior announcer's excited. Ben DeCastro's excited, and I really do think people are going to enjoy Trace Thompson hitting the baseball for the Woo Sox. That's a changeup down. He goes 98 off the bat. It's just, you know, you can dream on this lineup. You're allowed to. You've got Grissom in the 5 spot.
Keep in mind, we've got the split seasons again this year, so the winner of the first half goes to the playoffs, and by the time the second half of the year rolls around, a lot of the teams look different than they did in April and May. And Grissom takes ball 2, but you take a guy like Thompson, and on the other side for Syracuse, Joey Meneses. If you're a team in this league, you have to have one of those guys in there that have proven it at this level, can pop up to the major leagues. And the 2-0 up and in from Zuber. And those guys would, of course, like more opportunities at the major league level, but they anchor lineups here in the International League.
Changeup got away. Yeah, and also the veteran minor league free agents that you sign as an organization.
Grissom takes all the way, knew that was ball 4.
Those guys matter, right? Because those are the guys that are in the room every single day with Roman Anthony and Marcelo Meyer, and at the big league level, Christian Campbell.
So you're talking about character now, too.
Right, yeah, like, and, you know, I think about the way that guys talked about Eddie Alvarez last year. And, okay, yeah, nice, like a veteran who's been in big league camp or seen big league time and all this stuff. Great. But Eddie Alvarez was teaching them little things about the game. He was teaching them about pine tar and where to put it on your bat legally, and like these little things that you know if you've been in the game, but if you're 19, 20, 21, 22, like you would never know these things.
And for Alvarez, also how to lace up your skates, right?
Right. Yeah. A little bit of everything. Right? How to be a professional, how to handle a family while, you know, while pursuing an Olympic speed skating career and professional baseball.
How to do it all, a novel by Eddie Alvarez.
Think about that. Like that matters, you know, to guys that are learning how to be adults for the first time in the world, let alone professional baseball players.
Here's Toro after that extensive visit to the mound, and Toro takes for a ball. He's 1 for 2 today with a base hit and the onslaught of the 3rd inning. Woo Sox in control here after dropping the opener of this series on Friday 4-3. With 2 on for Toro, takes a strike up in the zone. This one almost hit Toro as he bent out of the way. Red Sox tonight against Texas. They'll have to face DeGrom.
Yeah. Richard Fitz
had a great end to the season last year with the Boston Red Sox.
I'm really excited to see that. About 30 minutes away from that first start.
And Now 3 balls and a strike, and Cooper's got an eye on the Yankees game because we were talking about those
just
torpedo bats, and this might be a problem this season. The Yankees are hammering Milwaukee 5-1. More dingers?
2 more dingers.
Oh,
Ben Rice, Jazz Chisholm. I would like to say for the record, and our great friend Bill Donovan of Sports Talk Radio in Connecticut did text in to say that Aaron Judge is not using the torpedo bat. Aaron
and
Judge
he still
was
hits
asked.
home runs? Okay.
Yeah, they were like, hey, are you using this bat? And he goes, no, I hit a trillion home runs the last 2 years.
I don't need to.
I'm not going to change my bat. You know, I've gone 50+ 2 straight years. I think I'm good. But Jazz Chisholm is, and he homered in consecutive days. I don't know. This is like put the aluminum foil hat on.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just having good players, huh?
Weird.
Payoff to Toro, and he'll stay in there against Zuber.
I think we got to investigate like the Dodgers bats, right? Like, that's because
I feel bad for the Tigers having to kind of open up against them, not really having a chance.
how did they overturn that call at the plate?
Tough one. 3-2 chopped on the ground towards second. Syracuse could use 2, but it's not a good feed from Ritter, so only the 1 as Thompson goes to third. This felt like a double play ball.
Yeah, had to go a long way. Luke Ritter. I've enjoyed watching him play. Power guy, second baseman. Second baseman can hit, 15, 20 home runs. You're probably having a good offensive year as a club. But this is where the Woo Sox took advantage in the 3rd inning. 2 out hits from this man, Nathan Hickey.
Good start to the year for Hickey so far. A couple of doubles already. And yeah, to your point, we're talking with manager Chad Tracy yesterday before the rainout. And he actually pinpointed a guy that the Woo Sox used to have. Who's now with the Twins, and Mickey Gasper. There's a little bit of inspiration. Here's the pitch to Hickey, hammered high in the air and down the left field line. Celestino will watch it disappear. And essentially saying, look, Hickey, okay, might not be an everyday catcher at this point because they're going to focus on some other things, playing first, focus on the offense a little bit. But having that card in his back pocket, like Gasper, allows you to be just a little more valuable for a team. That'll be an 0-1, and there's strike 2. And so at this level, it does allow manager Chad Tracy to maybe pinch run somebody, a catcher, late in games, because you have another guy on the roster that can play that position. You don't put yourself in a bad spot. Here's the 0-2 slider.
Yeah, it's 0-1. You can either go back there and catch or you can't, and Nathan Hickey can, and it's true. And look, he's got to hit, and
right.
He's got to, he's got to be the best version of himself. But I think about another guy, Nico Cavadas here, who has parlayed that into a trade and then big league time with the Angels.
1-2 on the ground right side, and this will bring home a run. Fielded by Meneses. Hickey has another run batted in, 2 today. And the Woo Sox tally 1 more here in the 5th.
Very nice. And you won't see a lot of this in Nathan Hickey's game. He's going to lift the ball a lot more, puts it in play, gets an RBI out of it. 2 strikes against that breaking ball. And the Woo Sox are doing today what we saw a lot of last year. High on base, a lot of hits, extra bases, and a 7th run thanks to Trace Thompson.
Hickey drives in his 2nd, and Syracuse wearing out a path to the mound today. 7-0, looking for more. Back in a moment. Another Shaw's call to the bullpen for Syracuse. 5th pitcher utilized today, Chris Davinsky. Veteran major league arm, came up in 2016 with Houston. Some great years with the Astros. Last year with Tampa Bay. They'll face Zavala, and the first one swung on and missed. So Zuber goes 2/3 of an inning. Nunez went 1+. Before that, Herget went an inning, and then Sproat went 2+. And this affair today, 7-0 Woo Sox, and a smash foul down the right field side. 2 quick strikes from Davinsky. 400 career major league innings. He's had some great seasons. Be an asset for the Mets. And the 0-2 is upstairs. Zavala 0-4-2 today with a line out and a strikeout. Storylines thus far: big at bats for Meyer today. 2 runs batted in, 2 walks, and 2 runs scored for Roman Anthony. 1-2 offering low. Fulmer with 54 pitches thrown, 4 innings, 2 hits, no runs, as he returns to the mound, coming back from extensive injury. And then Nathan Hickey, a couple batted in. This one nubbed back to Davinsky. And that will finally end the 5th inning. But the Woo Sox tally another pair. They'll leave a man at first as we have played 5 here in game 2. Woo Sox have a 7-0 lead. Let's check in on the concourse with Mike Antonellis. Mike.
People here, right? I got to hang out and enjoy these heaters. It took me about 2 innings till I realized this is the place to be. These heaters are Polo Park, first base, third base side, but this is such a great area. There's so many food options. Mosey on your way down. We have Woo Sox headquarters. You can pick up some free stuff, but this is incredible. But I've noticed there's a lot of kids, though. They're in the stands. It's kind of like, you know how they like to go in the ocean in June, and us older people say no thanks. So if you want to get out of the cold, come up here. But I'm going back down to the cold.
That's a great fan amenity. Thanks, Mike. Thanks for hanging in there today. 41 degrees at first pitch. Drowan threw just 10 pitches in the 5th inning, picked up a couple of strikeouts. But you got heaters on the concourse. That's pretty cool.
I got to be honest. I know we're doing the game and everything. If we just gave it to Mike Antonellis down there and had him man on the street the next 4 innings.
I would just watch him YouTube live his life. There's a fly ball down the left field line. And Thompson coming in. Out goes Meyer, and he makes the catch along the tarp.
Little smile. That is perpetually on Marcelo Meyer's face. This is not easy. Right-handed bat. Think about where he ends up from where he starts. Tracks it, checks it, loses the hat, checks it again. And shared a laugh with Trace Thompson afterwards. It's a very long way to go, and you and I have seen enough games in this ballpark to know that oftentimes somebody messes that area up.
It's so tricky with the angles and how the bullpen cuts out, and you really lose a lot of foul territory. This ball swatted out to shallow center. Coming on is Eaton to make the catch. Now Drowan's retired all 5 that he's faced. I mean, this has got to be very encouraging for not only the Woo Sox, where the Red Sox are. We mentioned Drowan at one point, kind of a guy you counted on coming up from Double-A Portland back in 2023, and kind of hit a bit of a snag here. Was able to strike guys out, but couldn't throw strikes consistently enough. And here he delivers an off speed, and a nasty one at that for strike 1 to Walton.
Yeah, they've gotten him back to strike throwing. This is really nice to see. It's so weird because we know Shane Drowan well from these last few years, but we haven't actually seen him pitch very much. He pitched a few times here in Worcester after he came back from Chicago.
High fly ball out to shallow right center again. Eaton on the move, coming in, and it's a drop for a base hit. Grissom got out there as well. That's the first man to reach against Drowan.
Got to watch Nate Eaton run, and boy can he, but even him, this ball is a big swing that Walton got under, and Eaton was playing so deep. There's just no chance really for anybody to get there.
Luis De Los Santos, a waiver claim this past offseason from Toronto, was up in the big leagues for a stretch last year, takes strike 1. So Drowan getting in, getting strike 1, certainly key. And when you can do that with the stuff that he has, it can be very effective. 7-0 Woo Sox here in the top of the 6th inning. And a ball and a strike on De Los Santos. McKinney on deck. You know, this also feels like one of those games where you've had the possession for most of the day. Syracuse has had to be out on the field. They are defensively for extensive innings, and Worcester's been really clean getting back into the dugout. Here comes the 1-1. Swing and a miss. 94 on the four-seam.
It is true. Like, the Woo Sox have won the war of attrition.
Yeah. Time of possession. Throwing a couple of Ks. Fulmer had 5. See what he goes with a potential put away pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here it is, and it's fouled off. The curveball, and he had De Los Santos frazzled on that one.
94 was really encouraging too. You use that word, and I completely agree. At 94 from the slot from the left side with the big breaking ball, you can start to have some conversations about the next level.
1-2 again. Fastball in, 96.
Yeah, that's really, 96 from him, and I know he's probably rearing back as the outing goes on here, but it's only pitch 23, so he's got much longer to go probably if he doesn't get into trouble. 96 is different out of him.
That felt like a setup pitch here on the 2-2. Check swing on the breaking ball, no go.
That's what you remember, the big curveball.
Yeah.
Nathan Hickey turned to the first base umpire, Joe McCarthy, and tapped his head. Can we challenge that? Nah, he didn't go.
No.
Challenge that. Nathan would have lost.
De Los Santos back in this at bat. He struck out twice today. 3-2 pitch just inside. He challenged that one maybe. No. All 4. De Los Santos a reach. And Drowan had a chance up in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Could not put him away. And some life here for Syracuse with 2 outs in the 6th inning.
But again, 95. That was
a good
close.
location too.
Yeah, good location. I have no issue with any of that. Again, we talk about this a lot about everybody, but we talk about it because it's real. Is they're trying to bump everybody's velocity up.
There's McKinney. He takes outside ball 1.
And particularly a guy like this. At 92, 93, it's a lot more hittable than 95, 96. But if he can live 95, 96, particularly over a few innings, it changes the complexion of who he can be.
Especially from the left-hand side for a guy out of the bullpen at this moment. A roller towards Grissom at second should end the inning. It does, and Drowan works around a base hit on a bloop and a walk. He'll strand 2 through 5.5. Today's Woo Sox rewards promo code of the game is Worcester. Oh, good puppies out there. You must spell it correctly. But the word is not case sensitive. Enter the code to earn points that you can redeem for concession items, experiences with players, and many more prizes. If you're not a member yet, well, sign up for free and download the mobile app at WooSoxRewards.com. Worcester. Someone get that dog a treat. It's a good boy. Oh, man. New pitcher and old friend, Justin Hageman, was supposed to start yesterday. Pumps in strike 1 to Nate Eaton. Shaw's called to the bullpen for Syracuse. Just bring out the whole pitching staff here today. A swing and a miss on a slider for strike 2. Hageman was here last year with the Red Sox system. You can see there 28 appearances, decent numbers for the righty, and the 0-2 offering to Eaton is down and away. Davinsky throws just a third of an inning to get us out of the mess in the 5th. 7-0. Woo Sox on a bark in the park. 1-2 down, 2-2.
They gave Hageman a major league deal, option AAA to start the year. But it tells you the way that he's looked at around the league and the way the Mets, thought that they could get the best out of him. They valued him.
On the 40-man, 2-2 smashed out to center field. De Los Santos has it lined up. And there's one gone in the 6th.
Talk about the ball sounding different off somebody's bat. Top 5 cliche in baseball, but it's true. It does for Nate Eaton. It's 98 off the bat, but you listen when he swings the bat, and those in the ballpark today, when that ball hit the bat, went, whoa. You know, you heard that sound, and I think you're going to hear it a lot as he takes at bats throughout the year.
There's Anthony lined out to deep left field in his last at-bat. Take a slider on the outside corner. Couple of walks, 2 runs scored today for Roman Anthony. And showing that ability to take pitches, not chase, not extend his strike zone. Sogard to follow here for the Woo Sox in the 1-1. Hammered high and deep out to right field. No doubt about this one. Long gone for Roman Anthony. Number 1 on the season, and it's a doozy.
.110 off the bat, 412 feet. Roman Anthony doing what Roman Anthony does. This is a cutter. And he just pulls the hands in, and every person on earth knew where this was going to land. Well, where it might land.
Well, they knew it was out of the park for sure. He did. You could see the look there. Had 3 here at AAA last year. Yeah, give him that UMass football helmet. I mean, we're expecting better things this fall. This ball lifted out to left center field off the bat of Sogard, carrying back, and it's off the glove of Celestino. Sogard will get second base. Celestino looked like he had that lined up and couldn't bring it in.
Yeah, this looked like Christian Campbell yesterday for the Red Sox. Full attempt in left field, long way to go, low catch probability on a ball hit very hard. And Celestino gets there. This is in the mitt. But on the dive, just couldn't reel it in. Blue Sox are all over their former teammate right now.
Double presented by Anna Maria College. Turn your passion into a profession as Meyer takes strike 1. 2-run base hit today for Marcelo Meyer. He's been on twice. 8-0 Woo. And a ball and a strike on Meyer. If you're looking at the Worcester Red Sox and saying, hey, you're checking in, what did Anthony do today? What did Meyer do today? And casually observing, well, that'll be a good one for you. A ground ball to the right side. Meneses will feed Hageman. Down to third goes Sogard. No doubter for Roman Anthony.
Yeah, it's just, I mean,
absurd.
It's absurd. It's absolutely absurd. You know, it's if you're not coming at him, I think this is what we saw in spring training. If you're not coming at him with elite stuff, you certainly have no shot. You know, that's 84. It's a cutter that's a little too straight. It's not poorly located, but his bat speed is too much. His bat to ball is too much. His power.
And how about Thompson, speaking of power, line to left, on to the berm, and gone. A 2-run shot for Trace Thompson. And it is a beatdown here today for the Worcester Red Sox. A missile off the bat of Thompson.
Slider just gets around on it and plants it. This is Trace Thompson. Welcome to Worcester. And for Woo Sox fans, welcome to Trace Thompson. 6 home runs in spring training. Led the majors in home runs in spring training.
It really generated a lot of chatter of what he could be. The Red Sox opted to utilize him, but it's his first here. Now Grissom will spray this one out to short right, where it's brought in by Ritter. And that will end the suffering for Hageman.
Worcester Red Sox alumni report. Boston Red Sox home run #1 for Christian Campbell. First career Major League home run. You know, we saw him a lot. He doesn't show like a ton of on-field emotion. That little whoop, that right there, That's unreal. That is like Christian Campbell, like throwing everything. His equivalent. You know, that is when you talk about emotion and the climb from A-ball to the major leagues at the beginning of last year to right there. That's a celebration that he deserved. And congratulations to Christian. Got his first major league hit a few days ago. As you look at Hobie Harris for the first time in a Worcester Red Sox uniform, facing Joey Meneses. And a ground ball up the middle off the bat of Meneses. Professional hitter as his 4th hit of this 2-game series. Christian's in the lineup again for the Red Sox. He got another hit today as Richard Fitz gets the start for Boston. They're in the 2nd inning in Texas, scoreless game. Richard Fitz versus Jacob deGrom. Now it's Luke Ritter. So Hobie Harris makes his Red Sox organizational debut, Rule 5 pick in the AAA phase of the 2024 draft. Harris made his major league debut in 23 with the Washington Nationals, spent last year in AAA in the Twins organization, signed a minor league contract with the Mets in November, and then the Red Sox turned around and Rule 5'd him from the Mets. And there's a lot, you know, stuff-wise to like about him. He's another one of these project guys that the Red Sox are trying to get a lot out of, but you can see there was one very clear directive about the kind of middle-of-the-pack guys that the Red Sox are trying to develop. And that one directive is velocity. This is a fastball that, you know, Harris, I know it's 93 right there, but, you know, he's 95 on average on a warm day. Two. Got a check swing. That was tipped and kept off the ground for a strikeout. First Red Sox org strikeout for Hobie Harris on the split. Oh, no way.
Oh, man.
Way. I didn't even know
Special delivery.
Oh, my God. Welcome, Alexis Dill, DJ Rivera. Thank you.
Guys.
This is big time.
I got a grilled cheese.
Oh, my God.
This is,
All
I
right,
know
what
this
are we
is
looking at
Birch
here?
Tree. This is Birch Tree Bread Co.,
Wow.
which is the taste of Worcester. You see that? I'm hoping that's tomato soup.
Oh, my God. And
And
I got
also
a little pulled pork situation.
Oh, yeah.
Mac and cheese.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God. What even happened in the... I don't care. This is unreal. Travis Swaggerty fouls it off. All right, what do you got here?
Yeah.
Oh, it is tomato
Yeah,
soup. All right,
is-
let's go at it. I'm going pulled pork here. Taste of Worcester,
Taste of
Birch Tree
Worcester.
Bread Company.
I mean, they're just awesome in general.
Oh my God, that's the. When I put my head on the pillow, sometimes I'm thinking about Birch Tree Bread Company. Pitch outside, 2-1.
No, I think that's from the.
This year, the concession pulled. This is the
Concession
concession
stand,
pulled pork,
yep.
I think. This is new this year.
Nacho Man.
All right.
You're going to take a
All
bite
right, I'm going at Nacho
while you're
Man.
calling the game?
Yeah, I'm whatever. 10-0. 2-2 from Hobie Harris to Travis Swaggerty. Got him. All right, struck him out. Let's take a bite.
So we were talking about John Miller earlier today when we were eating our pregame meal, and he tells this fascinating story about when he wanted to start getting into broadcasting. And I think he was telling a story about how he was in the stands and he looked up and saw the broadcaster eating a bunch of nachos. And as a child, he said, that's the job that I want to have when I grow up because of the in-game eating. This one gets past Zavala.
Thanks. Pick me up there.
Gotcha, buddy.
Nacho Man delivered. That's a 9.5 out of 10. You gonna try your grilled cheese or what here?
Yeah. Excuse me.
Man on second, 2 outs for Hobie Harris, facing Celestino. This is so I had never had Nacho, man. I'm all in on this. I know how good that birch tree is. I'm 100% sure of how good that is. Jay's trying to tell you how good it is, but he doesn't have his mic down. It's good. It's good. Go to the Taste of Worcester. That's low, 3-1. Can I get a bite of the? Can I get a grilled cheese half here? Please. One, he says 1 bite. All right. 3 balls, 1 strike. I'll even rip it. Count 3-2. Nacho, man, right field side. Pull pork back in that spot. It's big time. Be open on a warm day. All right, I'm going to try the grilled cheese. Did I mention I'm lactose intolerant? We're in a tough situation here.
Worth it.
Bloop to right. And the inning's over. Gives us a little bit of time to take care of some things in the booth. Trivia. All right, Friday marked the 3rd time Woo Sox have hosted Syracuse for Polar Park's opening day. Name the other 2 teams that have been visitors for Worcester's home opener. This one I got. Remember, Syracuse was the visitor in the first ever Polar Park opening day. Tristan Casas homered that day. So turn that over in your mind. Play along with us. Shout out Steve Safran, Trivia Czar. As we go to the bottom of the 7th inning, 10-0 Woo Sox against Justin Hagenman, former Woo Sox, and the Syracuse Mets. Once again, just one last time. Maybe not one last time, but maybe one of the. I'd just like to say thank you to Birch Tree Bread Company and Nacho Man for one of the great top of the 7th innings in the history of Polar Park.
Came at the right time. So good.
Challenge from Syracuse. Chris Williams, who is 1 for 1 today. This was called the ball, and it stays a ball this time. Woo Sox in this game scored on an RBI single by Trace Thompson. RBI hits from Marcelo Meyer, Vaughn Grissom, and Nathan Hickey. Meyer got his first AAA hit, his first 2 AAA RBIs on that swing. And then a 5th inning for the ages. Trace Thompson doubled. Vaughn Grissom walk, set up a Nathan Hickey RBI ground out. 6th inning with a home run by Anthony and Thompson as Toro cuts and misses for the first out of the 7th.
Coop, with that trivia question, did you know immediately off the top of your head? Because I've been here for every single opening day, and I could get an educated guess going, but
no,
is your recall that good?
I'm good with one. I'm not.
Okay.
The other one is the one that's like, I know there's a second one, but pitch outside to Nathan Hickey. I sounded
I can
really
tell you who
confident.
it's not.
Right. It's not
Charlotte.
Norfolk.
Not
It's not
Durham.
Right. Jacksonville has never been here.
Not the New Haven Ravens.
Not the Newport Goals.
Nope.
Who were here on opening day the other day.
That's right.
I was like, why am I thinking of them? No Danbury Westerners.
I would think Buffalo is a strong contender.
Buffalo is a strong contender, and there are like 3 strong contenders. Hi. Durham is not one. Lehigh Valley, Syracuse, Buffalo, and Rochester are your 4 contenders. Scranton, I guess, too. And the question is, sorry, this is where I remember things 10 seconds ago and nothing else. Like, it's Polar Park opening days, not true opening days, as Hickey swings and misses 3-2. Jay has a mouthful of Birch Tree Bread Company, so it's going to be a second.
That's how I understood the question.
Okay.
Yes.
Hickey hits this high and hard to center. De Los Santos tracking. And if the day was warmer, that might be the first home run of the season for Nathan Hickey. 104 off the bat. Yeah, all right.
I'm going to guess Buffalo Rochester.
I'm going to go Buffalo Lehigh Valley. Yeah! 1-0. Actually, I got it wrong on Friday. I'm 1-1. Sebi Zavala takes a strike. Was asked the other day, so what's up with the divisions? Like, what happens if you win the division? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, it's all kind of part of the changes of professional baseball. Oh, I love that decor on that pup. A Red Sox tutu.
Where do you even get that? Like, where am I purchasing a Red Sox dog tutu? Sebi Zavala in the air to left. Celestino. I'll park it up. He makes a catch to end the seventh. 10-0 Woosac. Upcoming schedule. We finish a homestand today. Go to Jacksonville for 6 days. Come back, and here you go. Portuguese Heritage Night. Tail Wagon Tuesday. Tacos and tequila. And that's only Tuesday. Got my eye on Great Gatsby Babe Ruth theme night. What are you wearing to the Great Gatsby night on Wednesday night? Fireworks Friday. Usual Saturday. The Unibank Women in Sports Day is one of our favorite celebrations every single year. That's always big. And then wrap it up Sunday with Jackie Robinson Day. There's Brian Mata. First appearance of 2025. You see it, 6 appearances last year. All season for the Woo Sox. And this is really, you can make the argument, the most intriguing guy out of this Woo Sox bullpen right now. On the ground, Marcelo Meyer in the hole, plant throw, got him. Not easy, looked easy.
It was a big day for Meyer at the plate defensively. And, you know, I'm with you to that point. I think you have multiple intriguing candidates in this bullpen. Of course, Mata coming up was a highly thought of pitcher, dealt with injuries, trying to get back in the swing of things. Isaiah Campbell's another guy that kind of established himself last year, then got hurt, couldn't quite regain what he had. We just saw Drowan out of the bullpen throw a remarkable couple of innings.
First at bat for Rowdy Jordan today. He came in as a defensive substitute at the top of the inning.
And what about Nick Birdie? A guy that's pitched in the big leagues, that has a lot of experience.
Yeah, he made an entrance yesterday.
Yeah.
97 outside corner, 1-2. Mata pitched in 11 total games. Hello, Train. That's what Ben DeCastro, our public address announcer, just said. Mata pitched in 11 total games last year. He's hurt most of this season. Got a check swing and got him to go around. Another K for Brian Mata.
Well, that'll play. For Mata, I think the problem when we saw him on the initial rise through the organization, some difficulty throwing strikes consistently. Here, it's a nice curveball.
He was so hurt last year. I mean, he really didn't pitch. And when we saw him, to your point, wasn't throwing strikes. He had an awesome spring training. They're talking about him at the big league level.
You know, maybe there's not as much pressure on him now, too.
Up the middle, on a line, but it hung up enough for Anthony to end the inning. Sweet Caroline ringing. Red Sox playing in Texas. Woo Sox leading 10-0. As we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Cold, but not for everybody. Still a lot of smiles on these shots. There's a wiffle ball bat. Oh, yeah. Let's hit the chorus. Strike one and 8. Eaton. Sox scored once in the first, 4 times in the third, twice in the 5th, 3 in the 6th. Eaton can bust it. Not going to be an easy play. Walton spin, and Eaton did bust it. Big time sprint speed. This was 96th percentile sprint speed when he was in the big leagues a couple of years ago. And that's the other thing too. Yeah, he'll slug and put the ball in play, but man, can do that too. Roman Anthony in the air, left field and deep, back, and 2 home runs for Roman Anthony. One to right, one to left for the #1 hitting prospect in baseball.
Well, think about the fly out in the 4th inning off the end of the bat, down in the count, 2 strikes. And we talked about the opposite field power. This is an easy swing off the end of the bat, driven the other way. Masterful.
Both off of Justin Hagenman. He went 110 pull side. He goes 106 oppo.
That's fun.
Yeah. He just reached out and took it the other way. Sinker. And Roman Anthony doing what Roman Anthony does. At the top of the Woo Sox lineup, it is 12-0. Sogard gets punched out. Slug near 500 over 119 games last year for Roman Anthony. #2 prospect in baseball. Last year's #2, Jackson Churio. Previous #2s include Corbin Carroll, Adley Rutschman. Go back a little bit further, Fernando Tatis, Ronald Acuna were all #2 prospects in baseball. And again, you know, Roki Sasaki is young. He's the #1 prospect in baseball, but that's a little bit of a different
It's
thing.
tough when you've got a player that's played professionally before, I should say, in another
Top
country.
2 league in the world.
And Sasaki's had a little bit of, struggles this year. It's not plug and play all the time.
Well, we're sitting here, like a month and a half from Roman Anthony's 21st birthday.
I mean, look at this line for him today. 2 walks, 2 bombs, 4 runs scored.
2 and 2 to Marcelo.
I mean, this is one of those things, and if I'm a fan here in the area, you're going to want to get to the ballpark just to see that, because you're going to say, hey, remember when we saw Roman Anthony at Polar Park?
Meyer on the ground right side. Good scoop there by Luke Ritter. 2-way.
And not just saying it, but you weren't actually here to see it, and just telling your friends that you actually came to see Roman Anthony when he was in Worcester. I mean, you really want to be able to witness it. Home run to right, home run to left, and then just the patience that he has at the plate. Amazing today.
Tyler McDonough's going to get a late pinch hit opportunity. His first plate appearance of the season against Justin Hagenman with 2 outs in the 8th. I want to know. I really enjoyed talking to Roman about Alex Bregman, because, like, if you're 21 years old, I mean, if you're 25, 26 years old, Alex Bregman, your entire life has been a guy, right?
Yeah.
He's been a big-time major league guy. And for, Roman Anthony's life growing up, Alex Bregman has been winning World Series, basically. I mean, he was winning World Series when Roman Anthony was in high school. And he talked about how fun it is to, okay, it's cool to go and pick Alex Bregman's brain. It's even cooler when Alex Bregman comes and picks your brain. Two. And, the thing that Roman said is, like, you realize that he's just like me, right? Like, I'm a competitor, he's a competitor. I want to be the best baseball player I can be. He wants to be that way. But
belong, yeah.
That's a pretty good makeup to share.
And also on the Bregman side, hey, I can always learn and grow. And even if it's, there's something I can learn from a younger generation that does things differently. Process information differently. Read the news differently. Get fed TikTok videos, whatever it might be. So it's a good exchange.
Totally. McDonough off the end of the bat. Another tough play. De Los Santos, long way, throw, not in time. Another infield single in the inning. Blue Sox have their 14th hit of the afternoon.
And by the way, when we've seen McDonough, he's always just produced when he gets here. And the limited time that he's been given a chance to showcase his abilities. If you're the Boston Red Sox watching this game, it's nothing but smiles, start to finish. Everything today has been a success. Anthony, of course, Meyer, the start for Fulmer, Drohan with his ability, Mata throwing a scoreless inning. I mean, this is about the best thing you could script today.
Vaughn Grissom to right. And Swaggerty, circuitous route, does get there. Roman Anthony's gone deep once. Roman Anthony has gone deep twice. Highlights of the day, lots of them. Marcelo Meyer's first AAA hit drives in 2. And the Woo Sox an early 5-0 lead through 3. Then the 5th, Trace Thompson continuing a big-time spring training. He doubles to score Marcelo. More a little bit later on in the 8th inning. First home run for Roman Anthony on the season. He followed up an inning later with another one. Trace Thompson goes deep, and the Woo Sox today have 12 runs on 14 hits and are 3 outs away from their first win of 2025. It is nowhere in the realm of a safe situation, but the closer is on. Luis Guerrero for the first time, and a slider for a strike. It's Luis De Los Santos. Great year last year, brought Luis Guerrero to the big leagues for the first time at the end of the season. And he made 9 scoreless appearances with the Red Sox. That pitch right there is going to matter for him as he tries to get back there. If you had probably tried to assess what the Red Sox roster was going to be before the season started, I think you would have said Luis Guerrero was going to be on it, but he struggled in the spring, and now he's trying to pitch his way there. Haven't seen the fastball. Now we have 96. Guerrero's first of the year.
Well, it's interesting, too, here with the upcoming series and the addition of Bayo and Giolito. You're at that weird part of the year where you might have to force guys into action, and maybe you would have gone 2 innings with Mata, maybe a 3rd with Drohan, who knows. But I think a lot of times you're trying to cover innings, but this is the opposite case where you've got more arms coming that need to get their innings in.
Broken bat for De Los Santos. Yeah, no question. And I also think, too, that the bullpen carousel is going to be interesting. Those last 3-4 guys that they decided to take to Texas. I don't, on paper, necessarily think that a lot of people thought they were going to take the extra lefty in Bernardino. Or even that Cooper Criswell, if he didn't make it as a starter, would be kind of your longer guy. He's in there right now, but you could see a world where Luis Guerrero fills that spot. 0-2 gets a ground ball left side. Sogard cut it off. and got the pick from Hickey at first. One down, nice play both ends.
All smiles today for the Woo Sox. Sogard, we've seen him do this so many times. But look, here's what people say as we get a look back at this. Read well, got in front of Meyer. You say, okay, you got Giolito Bayo coming back. What if Newcomb pitches well? What if Fitz continues to pitch well, which he's doing so far today? And I say this all the time, you're gonna need everybody at the end of 162 plus postseason. So don't worry about having too many guys for not enough spots.
In the air, deep towards center field. Roman Anthony tracking. Roman Anthony makes the catch. Long way to go, but gets the second out against Billy McKinney. The Woo Sox are 1 out away from win number 1. Luis Guerrero versus Joey Meneses. 6 pitches, 2 outs for Guerrero. He's at 97, 98 on his fastball. And he put 97 outside for ball 1 to Meneses. Woo Sox scored 5 in the first 3 innings, 2 in the 5th, 3 in the 6th, 2 in the 8th. Roman Anthony has 2 home runs. Marcelo Meyer has his first AAA hit. Trace Thompson went deep. Doubles from Thompson, Nathan Hickey, and Nick Sogard. 14 total hits, 12 total runs, and 1 more out to get for the first celebration of the season at Polar Park. Luis Guerrero, Woo Sox closer to start the year. Went sweeper, got Meneses out in front, and the Woo Sox are 1 strike away. It's been a perfect day at Polar Park. Guerrero's trying to end that day right here. 2 balls and 2 strikes. In the air off the bat of Meneses. Roman Anthony tracking, checks the wall, gets under it, and puts it away on a 2 home run day for him.
Fulmer setting the tone. I think he got better too as his outing went along and ended up with 5 Ks, commanded his pitches, showcased that sweeper as a very effective out pitch. And I think you're going to be real thrilled if you're the Red Sox at the entirety of this one.
Roman Anthony hits his first 2 home runs of the year. He has 4 walks, 2 homers, 1 to right and 1 to left today as the Woo Sox win. And with the star of the show, Roman Anthony and Mike Antonellis.
Home runs.
Yeah, it felt great. Just a great team win.
Yeah. So, usually with 40 degrees, it's not hitting weather. Don't tell you guys that, right?
Yeah, we found a way to kind of just stay warm and pass it on to the next guy, and next thing you know, the bats got hot, so it's a great win.
How about your view of Michael Fulmer today? Looked good.
Looks amazing. I mean, he looked good all spring when I saw him. I got to play behind him a few times. Obviously, we know what he's capable of. We've seen the years that he's put up. Just a great pitcher, commands his own really well. And yeah, I mean, it's been a blast watching him.
Good first weekend here too, right?
Yeah, great. Got a W today, so take that, kind of roll it into next week. So look to get down to the warm weather, be back in Florida, and keep the boys hot.
All right, enjoy Jacksonville. Nice job.
Appreciate it.
All right, Roman Anthony, 2 home runs. Back to you guys.
Hi, Mike. Thank you. Happy Roman Anthony. Happy Woo Sox. 12-0 the final over the Syracuse Mets. We'll step aside, come back, wrap it up, get you set up for the week in Jacksonville when we come back from the Woo Sox win. It's a Woo Sox win. There's proof. Presented by Wonder Bar Pizza. 12-0 the final today over the Syracuse Mets as we welcome you back. Alongside Jay Burnham, Mike Antonellis downstairs, Cooper Boardman here with you, and a 1-1 start, 1 rain out, so we got most of it in this weekend, and sets us up for an interesting 6 days in Jacksonville now against the Marlins of Philly.
Yeah, and I think everyone really looking forward to when the team comes back here and you get a little bit better weather and things will have some unthawing to do. And, look, a great game today, obviously. I just think in general, the way that this organization opens up the season, opening day is truly a holiday for the Woo Sox. And for those that have never been full-time minor league baseball employees, there is so much effort that goes into getting a season off the ground, the promotions, the tickets, the sponsorship, all of it, and they do such a great job here in Worcester. It's a pleasure to be a part of. So a great start to the year to get things going, and you got the rehabs coming up this week, and then you'll be coming back hopefully with maybe some more Roman Anthony home runs.
See Brian Bayo, Lucas Giolito, and a few others this week in Jacksonville. Welcome back, baseball. That's it for us this weekend. Big thanks to our whole crew: Zach Treader, Ben Leppard, David Germain, Ethan Wider, Joe Castagna, Liam McCarron, Isaiah Manuel, Viet View, Michael Pastor, Ryan Collins, Adam Wright, Ethan Boudreau, David Marr, Steve Safran, for Mike DeMars, for Mike Antonellis, for Jay Burnham, I'm Cooper Boardman. Woo Sox win 12-0, first of the year over the Syracuse Mets.